I think that's what makes a good lawyer, is someone
Yeah.
who can look at every instance and see what's particular about this case. I'm a big proponent though of family though. I need
Hmm.
to say that because
Hmm.
uh, the system has a huge habit of destroying families, particularly
Mm.
families of color.
Hmm.
And every family that's in family court doesn't necessarily need to be there. I would
Mm.
say most of them don't. I'm There are many cases that I'm like, we didn't need to be here. We didn't need to be here. And there are some where, okay, there is intervention that's needed,
Yeah.
but some of this stuff is
What
can
what's an
be
exa-
avoided.
what's an example of a case that could have been avoided, did not need any intervention?
Dirty home cases, cases where a parent is clearly overwhelmed with
Mm.
being a parent. Um, those cases, or um, also sometimes like different levels of excessive corporal punishment. I mean, it's like it's hard to say. It's like
Yeah.
when you know. You
Yeah.
know it when you see it. Like there are just some cases where parents are overwhelmed. Like I've had cases where a parent left like a 10-year-old home so they
Hmm.
could they had to go to work. They
Hmm.
had nobody to watch their kid. Like
Yeah.
I don't like that to me doesn't necessarily mean that the parent needs their child taken away.
Right.
And
Yeah.
or a child is missing school. Those
Hmm.
cases,
Hmm.
or like a parent, you're not supposed, and in New York, you're not supposed to hit your child with a belt. Um,
What? That's
a
a rule?
parent that it
When they why wasn't that a rule when I was growing up?
was, but listen,
Oh.
it's cultural. It's cultural. Then there's a lot of things that are cultural too. That like it's like there are obvious cases, drug cases, extreme mental health cases,
Hmm.
abuse cases, certain levels of DV that require children to be protected and taken. But then there are some cases that we all know what we see, and we're like, okay, does this really need court intervention? Why can't a community-based program assist this family?
Hmm.
And that
Yeah. Yeah.
and like once the government gets in your family's life,
Mm. Yeah.
it's very hard for that to end. It's very
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. The again, I I don't know if I can say 50-50 or 60-40, but then I
Hmm.
do have a lot of cases where there does not, I don't believe that there needs to be extreme court intervention,
Hmm.
because we have to be careful that a lot of the judges are not coming from the places that these families do, and they see parenting from a different lens.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the people who prosecute parents see family from a different lens. So it
Right.
may not necessarily be that a child needs to be taken or a family needs to be supervised for a long period of time. Everything is case by case. Some people don't see it that way. I see it that way, that
Yeah.
every situation is not the same.
Yeah.
And I try not to look at it that way, that if I seen it one time, that means this is the same way.
Right.
Because you can't. But there are a lot of people that do. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that's what makes a good lawyer, is someone
Yeah.
who can look at every instance and see what's particular about this case and not bring bias from everything else you've done to determine what's going on in one particular case.